What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant back again. Hope everybody's having a good to great day. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all don't mind, please like this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. If you have not already, please ask that you subscribe to the channel as well. Join the fam as I drop videos and content on this platform daily. And last but not least, please drop your comments drop your thoughts and opinions in the comment section, as I'm always interested and intrigued with what you all have to say about these topics we discuss. Again, I greatly appreciate that. And let's get to the work, why don't we? Because we got to discuss, well, let me say this. We are in the next phase of the Bronny James experiment. As Bronny James and Dalton Knect were introduced to the Los Angeles Lakers in the press conference, and I watched it. It was a little underwhelming. The most notable thing is JJ Redick still capping, still lying, talking about LeBron James really had no say so, and none of all of these moves and all this kind of stuff. It's just pathetic. You know what I mean? This is the kind of stuff that I talk about when it comes to LeBron James. The blatant lying, and then 10 years down the line, they'll somebody will come out on a podcast or on a radio show and just be like, oh yeah, Bronny James did have some say so in it, when we already knew this was the case right here and now in real time. But the press conference kind of went, as you thought it would go. A bunch of people asking Bronny James the typical questions of what it would be like playing with his dad, and is he ready to play in the NBA, all that kind of stuff. I've said this once, I'll say it again. Bronny James, as an individual, as a man himself, I don't have a problem with him. Watching him grow up on social media and watching how he's conducting himself, not just in interviews, but actually when he actually plays in a basketball game. Bronny James, I don't see anything alarming or wrong with how he approaches the game of basketball. It's just, what everybody's been saying, and I'm not exclusive in this. Bronny James ain't ready for the NBA. He's not ready for the NBA. And I just want to take a moment and shout out Man Down Sports, Melvin Wall, my big homie Jay, Zoe, Chris, what they got going over there. But I called in the other day and I, posed some questions. Like I said, I definitely invite you all to go check out Man Down Sports. They do good work over there as well. But I ain't called in and I asked Chris a question, and we was kind of discussing the Bronny James situation. Excuse me, and I made a mention that, hey, the medical staff had said Bronny James was ready to play, so it's time to play. And Chris made a mention of, just because the medical staff clears you doesn't mean you're necessarily ready to play. And I think that's baloney. Shout out to Chris, not, necessarily his take, but just the idea of it, because if Bronny James psychologically wasn't ready to play in college after such a, crazy injury like that, and prayers out to him as well. If he ain't ready to play after that in college, what do y'all think he gonna do in the NBA? The pressure is 10 times, 100 times up in the NBA versus it is in college. Let's just go off the workouts, the practice. Like, his body is going to be pushed harder than it's ever been pushed before, now that he's an actual professional basketball player. Let's talk about the games, the travel. You think all of this not going to affect Bronny James's physique? So if he's good enough to get drafted in the NBA, and actually take a spot, and champion himself as an NBA basketball player, then I'm not trying to hear any excuses. I'm not trying to hear, oh, this, that, and the third, or, we don't want to hear that. The medical staff, the people that get paid the big bucks to clear, people health wise, said Bronny James is ready to play, and that's what I'm expecting to see on the court. Now, again, his year at USC, he was not the best player by far. Plenty of dudes that you could choose out of that USC school that I would say was better than Bronny James. And all we kind of seen from him there was nothing. It's nothing about Bronny James's game from USC to high school that I've seen that makes me feel like he's an NBA prospect right now. And it's unfortunate. And we talking about Bronny James. Shout out to Dalton Knect. He was also in the press conference. And he's just doing his PC thing, answering the questions how he was supposed to answer them. JJ Redick once again still lying, talking about LeBron James had nothing to do with Bronny James getting drafted, and we all know that is cap. That is capital letters at its best. But all in all, man, this whole experiment, the Bronny James experiment, the JJ Redick experiment, I think is gonna crash and burn. I think that a lot of these guys are gonna be calling for JJ Redick's head, by the All-Star break, because LeBron James is gonna let you down. We don't know if Anthony Davis is gonna be healthy, to play a full season. And we don't know what the hell Bronny James gonna do. So that's even if he's on the team, because I know that summer league starts in a couple of days, and so he'll be in the mix with that. But we shall see. We shall see. Again, I'm very interested to see how this unfolds and play out. I just want to say too, as well. I read an article the other day, and it was very scathing in the sense of just reinforming everybody that Bronny James, whilst in the combine, see now the Lakers and everybody's in the media is trying to say Bronny James is some kind of defensive player and all that kind of stuff. No knock on him, but there was an article that came out that reminded everybody that in the combine, Bronny James couldn't stop a park car. We talking about a combine full of guys that were not in the mix of the draft, anything. These are guys that's literally just fighting for an additional spot, if not a G League spot. Bronny James couldn't stop those dudes. You know what I mean? These are the dudes that's not even good enough to be in the NBA draft. And Bronny James was getting torn to pieces by those guys. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen in the NBA, because what is Bronny James going to do when Luka calls for the one-on-one? You know what I mean? The isolation. What is he going to do when Steph calls for an isolation? Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Edwards. I can keep going. Kyrie Irving. You talking about Luka? What is Bronny James going to do with a Kyrie Irving? So all in all, again, I don't think I'm exclusive in my take when I say that Bronny James is not ready for the NBA. Long from it, and that he's being forced, and it's going to work against him, man. I don't know how this is going to look, in the near future, but from what I can see on paper, this is probably the worst move in NBA history, worst move in Lakers history, because everybody knows, they rigged the system to get this dude in the NBA, and he's not even good enough. I don't think anybody would have a problem with the quote unquote nepotism or quote unquote LeBron using his power to get his son in the NBA. I don't think anybody, including me, I'll put my hand up. I don't think anybody would have a problem with that if Bronny James was a decent basketball player, was a decent performer. Not even before his injury did I think that he was some kind of great, basketball player. So, um, like I said, we will see. We'll see how these events unfold. Again, I definitely implore y'all to go watch the press conference where they introduce Dalton, Knect, and Bronny James. Um, the young man, they promising us a bright future, so we shall see. We shall see. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please like this video, share this video, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. As well as hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. Last but not least, if you have not joined the fam, please subscribe to the channel as we drop content over here daily. We get busy daily, going live often. And so I just don't want y'all to miss out on any of that. That's all I got for you on this one. It is Tony the Savant. Peace.